Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Future of Life Sciences GA Now. Congratulations, everyone. My name is Meg Frost. I serve on our industries team here at Salesforce, and in that capacity, I have had the distinct honor and pleasure of partnering alongside our teams to engage with you, our customers, and our partners about how do we transform the industry together. And that's what we're going to be talking about here for the next 30 minutes, is how do we do that? How do we transform together to bring about better outcomes for patients, clinicians, and the healthcare system at large? But first and foremost, I must thank you all. Thank you so much for spending your time with us here today at Agentforce New York World Tour. I hope it's been an exciting and engaging experience for you where you've gotten to connect with colleagues, learn something new, and thank you so much for taking the time out of this busy season that I know you all have many obligations for spending a day with us. I want to start by just framing up the questions that we ask ourselves every day and the challenges that we face. How do we deliver that healthier world while dealing with massive problems? How do we see a future in which we can overcome our data challenges and the time it takes us to bring new therapies to market to really deliver something meaningful? And it's never been more important. We have to envision that future with increasingly urgent problems. Tariffs, regulations, constraints in the market. This is what we're all facing. These are the questions that we wake up thinking about, go to bed thinking about. How do we deliver something meaningful amidst the current climate that we're in? And the questions that we get to ask ourselves, and again, I get to sit down and really challenge ourselves with all of you to think about, are things like this. What if we could get therapies to market faster? What if we could shorten that window from 10 years to 10 months? What would that mean? What would we need to transform about how we work, and what would the outcomes be? What if patients didn't have to be patient anymore? What if instead of having to be on wait lists or hoping for that breakthrough medication, what if they could just get back to their lives, as it were? And what if you all could become agentic enterprises? What if we could move from the whiteboards and the visions that we dream up to practical realities about operating in new ways? But these just aren't questions we're asking ourselves anymore. These are realities that we're delivering today. Again, we're in a GA world. We are delivering this for customers today. But we know that this isn't going to be easy, that these problems, these questions, what we're seeking to deliver, it's a worthy problem, but it's transformation that is essential as well. It is essential that if we want to answer those questions well, about making sure our patients aren't patient anymore, about getting therapies to market faster, that we've got to be prepared to embrace new ways of working and new paradigms. We have to be prepared to become an agentic enterprise. And this is what that shift looks like. This is where we are all grounded in, and I reflect back, these are where we started 12, 24 months ago. We started with legacy systems. We started with legacy systems that were just systems of record, that were forms and fields where we clicked and scrolled and selected. We were very product-centric. We had a therapy or brand that we were interested in, and we were siloed. We weren't talking to each other across roles and functions and insights, certainly not talking against globally. But where are we transforming into? We are transforming into a system of actionable insights, not just data, insights. We're being proactive and conversational. We're making sure that we're patient-centric and not product-centric. And we're making sure that we're augmenting and connecting those teams. This is what's going to make us future-ready for the innovation that is to come. So with that backdrop about the context of where we are working in and where we're heading, I'm going to invite Eric to talk about how that product that we're delivering, that's GA now, is getting us there.
Yeah, thank you, Meg. So we'll talk a little bit about what we're delivering, who we've been delivering, working with, before we get into the demo. I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Eric Dennison. I'm a senior director on the product strategy team. I spend most of my time here at Salesforce delivering product messaging in settings like this and one-on-one meetings with customers. Many of you I may have met before. I've also had the benefit of being at the intersection of technology and the commercial pharma space for the better part of 20 years. 13 of that was with Veeva Systems. So a long career helping those of you in the industry solve your challenges, and I'm excited to talk to you guys today about what we're doing here. All right. So, at the core of it, Salesforce is actually no stranger to the life sciences industry. We have a global $2 billion business centered around things like patient services, Service Cloud. But what we're here to do is actually deliver a more specific, verticalized solution specific for the pharma industry. We're doing that across clinical, patient, commercial, and medical, and we're going to talk to you about that today and also show you in our demo. In addition to defining what we want to do, though, I want to take a minute to sort of congratulate my team and also talk to the industry about who's coming along on the journey with us. A year ago, if you'd asked us this question, we would have had to play a little coy and say things like, we're talking to a lot of people, we're having many conversations, we have design partnerships ongoing. At this point, we can make it official. Pfizer and AbbVie came on the journey earlier this year. We've also been working with Fresenius, Tandem, Fidea. Takeda joined us in January. And then most recently, we get to announce Novartis and AstraZeneca. At this point, we are working with 4 out of the 5 top 20 pharma and 5 out of the top 10. It's a really exciting time to be in the market, having gone from having no customers on the commercial side to a repertoire that I think we can be really proud of and that will help force us to innovate and bring benefit to the industry. Again, on the same theme, a year ago, when we showed this slide, this was all roadmap. These were all things that we were set to deliver, but had yet to do. At this point, all of these features are now GA. Our early adopters that we just talked about that are on that earlier slide are coming with us on this journey, starting their implementations now, and some of them will be going live in Q1 of 2026. We're really excited to get users on the system and start to push that innovation forward. But I want to take a minute to think about the decision that you guys still have in front of you for those of you who are still making a decision on whether to go with Veeva or Life Sciences Cloud. In the last business cycle, the innovative solution that we offered at Veeva was being ready at the right time with an iPad solution that offered a significant leap forward in innovation and the ability to show up digitally and personalize in front of customers. At this point, that's now table stakes. Making the decision on the iPad solution or sort of the thin application layer that the business user sees, I think misses the point of what's below the water and what's going to matter this cycle around. What matters is being able to take advantage of your best-of-breed data sources, weave those together in a data fabric layer using things like Data Cloud and Agentforce to provide real-time insights in a virtuous cycle to your users that lets them show up in a more personalized and focused way. We want to break that fractured experience that we hear about from doctors, from patients, so that whether it's a patient being enrolled in an IIT or a trial, or that same patient is being enrolled in a financial support, patient services program, whether it's the doctor enrolling that patient in the trial, or that same doctor that you want to approach as part of a post-approval, promotional activity, those are the same person. That's the same entity in your data stores, and leaving them as fractured, sort of siloed experiences is what leads to that fractured experience. So our goal here is to build an end-to-end agentic engagement platform across commercial, medical, patient, and clinical. And what I want to do is hand this over to Hansel so he can show you how.
Thanks, Eric. Hey, folks. Great to be here. My name is Hansel Baez. I'm with our Life Sciences product team. I lead our early adopter program, so really working with all our early adopter customers on their journey to implement life sciences. What I'm going to do here for the demo is really unlock the key account manager experience. So we're going to do a demo as Jen, a key account manager, and we're going to focus on 3 scenarios. So first is going to be intelligent web experience. So really talking about the web experience for the CAM, looking at strategic account planning from the CAM perspective, and then also looking at the agentic mobile app from the CAM's point of view as well. So with that, we're going to jump straight into the application. And what you see here first, logged in as Jen, as a CAM, is the homepage and her web experience. This is fully tailored to the CAM persona. So fully configurable to the things that matter to the CAM. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey through this homepage. On the top left, first starting with announcements. So again, fully configurable to news you want to highlight to the CAMs and things that you want to show to them on their day-to-day. To the right of that, we have the account plan module. So in this view, we show the face-to-face activity type. This can be by multiple channels, but here what we're seeing is that Jen's team for this quarter is tracking to target for the amount of face-to-face interactions they're tracking. I can also click on View Detail, and this will pop up a more detailed view where I can see all those activities for this quarter for face-to-face for Jen's team again. And I can also quickly look at attainment percentage to see how they're tracking for those activities. So great quick snapshot for her to look at her team. Then next, as we navigate further down, what we'll see is a quick snapshot of today's events. So we see that Jen has a meeting with Partners Healthcare coming up, and also a meeting with Dr. Baez later today. We'll come back to that in a second, because that's going to be important for what she's doing today. To the left, we see now the CAM cockpit. So this is really a fully embedded analytics platform with Tableau, where we have all the key data that the CAM is interested in for all her accounts. So whether it be contract data, product data, TA data, this can be data that's already housed in your CRM, or it can be sales data that we're pulling in via integration through SAP or other ERP systems. So again, all at the touch within her homepage. Now, as I mentioned, she has a meetings with Partners Healthcare later today. So from the CAM cockpit, she's going to actually click into Partners Healthcare. And what you'll see is that the cockpit itself will dynamically update to show all the data related to Partners Healthcare at the touch at a click of a button, right? So now she's able to see, okay, the contract value for Partners Healthcare, all the other related data. And ideally, in the old way of doing things, she would go and click at each of these dashboards to try to understand what the data says, what key insights she can glean. But really, we're going to leverage the power of Agentforce to help her dig into this data. So she's going to pull up her handy agent, and she wants to really dig into a little bit into some of the prior auth data that she's seeing here. So she's going to ask Agentforce to give her the difference of what the prior auth success rate is this quarter versus the same quarter last year. And what Agentforce is highlighting is that prior auths have decreased by 15% this quarter. Now, that's great at a high level to understand that stat, but next she asked Agentforce, can you give me a breakdown of what were the denials for prior auth, right? And what Agentforce does here actually gives her a pretty detailed breakdown, not only of here's all the types of denials, but here's the top 2 that were driving denials for this quarter. So we see coding errors and incomplete documentation are the 2 things driving prior auth denials. It gives her a definition of what that is. And because it is feeding from the context of the data it's looking at, it's also suggesting that she share this data with the MSL and FRM teams assigned to the account. And Jen says, actually, that's a good idea. Can you please share this information with those teams? And Agentforce quickly shares that via Slack in this case, but it's fully configurable, so you can choose the channel that you want to share it by, whether it be email or other channels that you configure. So that's a quick run through of how we leverage Agentforce in our dynamic homepage to really glean insights and collaborate across the different stakeholders. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to our second scenario, really looking specifically at the Partners Healthcare account. So when I drill into that account, the first thing I see here is our provider summary. This is powered by Agentforce. So it provides a quick snapshot of all the important information for this account. So this includes news, recent activity, other data that you might pipe in from data sources such as Komodo or H1. So it gives her a really quick snapshot of what's happening at the account right now. Now, additionally, she wants to click into some of the analytics, again, following up on her drill down from previously. And here we have these embedded dashboards with a rich amount of data, right? So contract value, TRX, all sorts of data related to the account. Similar to how we did on the homepage, we're going to pull up Agentforce to just help us summarize this data. So she'll go ahead and ask Agentforce for a quick summary of the data she's seeing here. Agentforce provides her a summary of what's happening around TRX data and some of the positive trends it's seeing on this data set. And again, proactively suggests to share this information with the market access team, which is the most relevant team for this type of information. Jen wants to share this information, says yes, and Agentforce takes care of sharing these dashboards and data with the relevant team so they can keep collaborating on this account. The one additional thing Jen remembers as she's checking into this account is that she wanted to talk to a leader on this account about our drug Immunexus. And specifically, she knows Dr. Morita's part of the account, so she wants to schedule a time for a visit with him. So she already has Agentforce pulled up, so she's going to ask Agentforce to schedule a meeting with Dr. Morita. And what Agentforce does is it drafts the email for Jen, specifically asking for times that Dr. Morita is available. Jen has the option to modify this email directly, or just go ahead and send it as is if she's comfortable with the content, which she does, and then moves on with her day. So that's a little bit about the web experience. So now we're going to switch over to Jen in the mobile experience. So here's our iPad app, and as you can see at first glance, this is a fully agentic experience. So Agentforce is front and center. We have some prompts that you can pre-configure to help your users navigate the app and have some questions to ask it immediately. Again, just like our web experience, this is fully configurable. So we have another module for up next with some mapping information. You can see announcements here again, where you can surface some key information. So a lot of rich data that you can configure specific to the users. And best of all available fully offline on the mobile app. So very important for our key users here. So next, Jen sees that there's a couple of notifications. So she wants to check in on those. And right away, she sees that Dr. Morita has confirmed the meeting that she wanted with him. And second, she actually sees there's some head-to-head study around Immunexus versus some competitors, which she'll keep in mind. But first, she actually wants to dig in a little bit into Dr. Morita. So she's going to go into Dr. Morita's account. And similar to what we saw on web, we see a rich amount of data on the account page for Dr. Morita. Our provider summary, again, showing latest interactions, key affiliations, even some social insights that it's gleaning from data that we're piping into CRM. Again, it could be data already living in your CRM or external data you're pulling in. And then additionally, she wants to check into some additional insights related to Dr. Morita. So she goes ahead into the Insights tab. And here, you're going to see a rich set of data related to Dr. Morita around, or you should see some rich data of Dr. Morita, around insights. So what we usually see here is data where we're piping in insights from external sources such as socials, additional publications, and things like that. It seems like our VPN is acting up here, so I'll move on from there. And then we have the other tabs, which is the traditional information that you're used to, such as activity history, details, affiliations, et cetera. Now, Jen wants to prep for her meeting, so she's going to go ahead and go create a quick visit. She does that via quick actions, click on new visit, and then she goes to her visit screen. So here she has all the typical things we expect from a visit available, such as recommendations, product messaging, samples. Specifically, she wants to prepare for the content she's going to present to Dr. Morita. So the application already surfaces relevant content. She's going to go ahead and pick the Immunexus clinical content here, add it to the visit. She's going to preview it to get familiar with the content itself and make sure she's familiar with the information and that she's ready to present this to Dr. Morita later on. She'll click out of that quickly. And then, she's here on the visit. Right now, she's not meeting in person with Dr. Morita, so she just wants to save this as a draft for now so that when she meets with Dr. Morita, she's ready to present the content and really proceed with her visit really quickly. So that's a little bit about our web and mobile experience, so hope you enjoyed, and we really look forward to showing you more of our product as we continue on this journey with you. So thanks again. Now I'll pass it back over to Meg.
One of the things that I think we all get so much joy out of now, Eric mentioned it, Hansel mentioned it, it's GA. This was live product that we just saw powering that transformation innovation. So really exciting for us to get to spend some time showcasing you a new persona, but still living into that ethos about how do we deliver transformation? How do we deliver transformation well in an insightful manner, an intuitive manner, unlocking those insights so that that conversation with Dr. Marita is impactful and powerful, it's informed and proactive, those same things that we mentioned at the top of the call here. But this isn't the end. If we can go back one quick slide here, this isn't the end of where we stand today. Our roadmap is expansive about how we're seeking to partner with all of you to transform the industry. So as I mentioned, GA in October with our mobile application. However, coming in future releases, we have more industry and regulatory compliances to make us ready in markets such as Japan. We've got increasingly agentic capabilities. So how do we provide insightful coaching to our field reps? And then, of course, including things such as order and event management, all to come here. We're excited about where this is leading together. We're excited about how our roadmap is informed and powered by all of you and your insights. And it's also future looking. It's not designing for where we all stand today. It's about designing for where we believe the future of work to go. But we're not doing this alone. We're doing this with all of you. We're doing this with our partner community. We're doing this with our data community and ISV community to make sure that we can move with pace, that we can keep up with the transformation and the potential that we all see possible here. So at Salesforce, we've always adopted an open ecosystem. We don't have all the right ideas. We don't have a monopoly on insights. We want to ensure that we're powering and bringing that all together into that flow of work, into that application layer that we just saw. We have our transformation tools to make sure that that transformation potential is possible and feasible for all of you. So we are investing in tooling, technology, and best practices so that you can accelerate down that pathway today. And of course, making sure that we're bringing that all together with analytics and intelligence along the way. This is what true transformation means, coming together collectively around this vision to deliver. Now, my next slide here, some of you may recall last time we were gathered together at Agentforce New York World Tour, we debuted a feature called Stories. This was inspired by the season of Spotify Wrapped that we're all in. I hope you've been enjoying, your biggest listens and songs of the year. So I asked myself the question, what if Life Sciences Cloud had a wrap for the year? What would our story say about what we've accomplished this past year? And this is what our highlights show. We had over 100 customers now select transformation on Agentforce Life Sciences Cloud. Eric mentioned some of those key marquee names. We're continuing to gain momentum across industries, across medtech, consumer health, pharma of all shapes and sizes, because they believe in that connected and engaged platform that's transforming for the work of tomorrow. We have met with over 2,500 of you throughout the year, whether at Dreamforce, New York World Tours, our global events, training and enablements. We've connected more deeply than we ever have before. Our solutions team and product team have given over 3,000 demos, which is incredible because we really only started demoing this about 6 months ago. 3,000 times we've had the opportunity to sit down across from you all, showcase this, bring this technology and vision to life. And the final number there, one new mobile agentic experience that's deployed in GA today. So quite the year for us on our Life Sciences Cloud story and Wrapped, and of course the genre of the year, agentic enterprise transformation. So as I leave you here today, there are 5 key calls to action that I want you all to take away from leaving the Agentforce World Tour with us today. First and foremost, it's GA today. Engage with your account teams, engage with your partner community to understand how you can get to more deeply know this technology. Whether it's in that demo, whether it's getting a hands-on session where you can go in and explore this technology. But I invite you not just to explore the technology that is Agentforce Life Sciences, explore Data 360. Explore Agentforce, build an agent, see the real agentic power that's there with these enterprise-grade tools. Next, engage that ecosystem. Talk to your trusted partners about what they're seeing. Ask them about not only how is this technology going to accelerate, but how are we transforming business processes? What does day one look like on Agentforce Life Sciences for us? What's the right use case to start with? Who's the persona that is most right for transformation? They have great ideas. They've thought deeply alongside us about how we can get you to value quickly, and they're ready to engage. Next, professional services and customer success. As we've been walking alongside this journey with you, this is one of the things that is critical for us here at Salesforce, is ensuring that you have the proper support to capitalize on this innovation. Our professional and services teams and customer success teams have spent this year making sure that they are prepared for this moment. They've been working closely with our product team to understand its nuances. They've been partnering alongside and learning best practices from each other to make sure that once those selections are made, that you are supported each and every step along the way. Next, data connectors and apps. We have, whether it's with IQVIA, H1, VizAI, groundbreaking data partnerships to make sure that that application layer is embedded with the context, prompts to action that you all need to drive transformation. This is what's the fuel and the hydration layer to make sure that those end users feel compelled to log in. That isn't going back to the old way of working of a system of record, something that I can just look at the end of the day, but an asset and a tool that I want to be logging into each and every time I go out into an interaction with an HCP or an HCO, because it makes my job better. I'm better able to reach my targets and deliver the transformation and goals for why I signed up in the industry. And then finally, explore a transformation tool. You see there we've got crossed off migration because we do not believe this is a migration. We don't believe that this is a migration from one platform to the next. This is an opportunity for transformation. This has been a big decision for many of you. Eric teed it up. Some of you still might be sitting in the audience here today thinking about what is that platform of the future for us? And that can feel overwhelming. It can feel ambiguous about what is the right choice. But the choice that I hope you all walk away understanding is that this is a choice for transformation. This isn't just changing infrastructure. This isn't just switching some databases. This is about looking at your organization, thinking about your strategic goals for the next 5 years, thinking about the patient populations that you're serving, thinking about your technology goals and how you want to accelerate in this agentic era, and how are you going to transform through it. So we have invested in a transformation tool to ensure that things such as data and metadata transformation are just an easy button, and that you can focus on the deep and meaningful work about transforming using these tooling. So as I said, engage us, engage your account teams, engage your partner community to explore each and every one of these facets to make sure that as you all head into 2026, that's the year of transformation and agentic enterprises for all of you. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here today in New York. We hope you learned a few new things. I got to explore our latest persona, and looking forward to seeing all of you in the campground after this or next year as we continue these conversations. Thank you so much.
What'd you think of Agentforce World Tour New York on Salesforce Plus? We want your feedback. Please scan the QR code on your screen to take our survey, and you'll be entered to win one full conference pass to Dreamforce 2026. We would love to hear from you.